All right. So you guys have. Oh, I need to switch. There we go. I think city music. All right. So you guys have arrived at the fort town of Goldcliff, the uh, sort of domain of Marquis Velicanth, which is 3 days away from the Whitewater castle in Pontem. As you are ushered through the gates as recognized and welcome guests, uh, the guards sort of go ahead to announce your presence. Uh, let's see. Does anybody want to do me a third? Just roll a d20, just a luck check. Okay. Sort of as people go ahead to announce your presence, they take they go to take your horses to like stable them for the day, I guess. I don't know if you plan to continue to just like stop by and continue going immediately, but they do attempt to take your horses as a standard, hospitality thing.
Uh, what time of the day is it, I guess?
You arrive around noon. It is noon on the 9th. You have been traveling for a week, which is 5 days.
Um, I mean, we can always have them reset up the wagon and everything, so I'll let them take it, take
Okay.
the horses.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Do you need us to prepare your rooms for the evening, sir?
I don't know yet.
Very well. We'll get that started just in case.
Okay.
Uh, as a, you've been here before. Are there any areas that you would start to move to, or would you just wait for the runners to come back?
I mean, I think I would be making myself directly to wherever the Marquis generally like holds court or like his office, like where he would generally be at this time of the day.
Okay, like the war room or something. All right.
Yeah.
You start heading that direction. As you do, a runner comes up and it's like, Sir Whitewater. Your uncle requests your presence immediately.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
This way, sir.
Of course, lead on.
All right. Starts leading you on to like the guest quarters, like the place that you would stay. Here it's got its own separate like little meeting room there for guests for visiting lords to do business. You would know that this castle is far bigger than the Velicanth house has ever needed it to be, because they're basically living in an old imperial ruin that used to be much more important than it is nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
They still maintain it as best they can. As you are being led down, you pass someone in the hallway. They are, to everybody else's eyes, a sort of young-ish high elven woman, long, silvery hair, not like old silver, but just like a natural silver, wearing a sort of robes, scholarly robes, and she looks over and sees you. You would recognize this as. Oh, wow, why'd I put that away? Ability. You would recognize this as Sir Lucilia Sungust, who is the surrogate of House Velicanth. So basically, what your Uncle Lunar Spirit is to you, but of this current generation. She is the surrogate to the scion of House Velicanth.
Uh, what do you mean by surrogate?
So you know how there's the whole thing of like noble families will have high elves sort of like marry or like get the blood into the lineage,
Right.
but they're not officially recognized marriages; they're surrogacies. So she is the biological mother of the scion of the house, so like the son of Lord Velicanth. But the Marquis Velicanth is married to Lord Velicanth, and this is the surrogate.
Oh wait, so the Marquis is
The two dads,
okay.
surrogate. That's how
Okay.
that happens. That's I decided that is how the high elves get into the system.
That works for me. I'm just making sure that I understand what's going on here. Okay, cool.
So she
Very
is.
very progressive, or maybe not. Very
It's
traditional.
traditional. It's traditional. Yeah.
Very traditional in this world.
Yep, it is the high elves who are lingered really recognize that they're status symbols. They primarily want to be left alone and out of Bosmaran politics, but they will take positions of privilege to like do their own thing.
I see, and that would
So
be why Sir Lucius is a half elf, like a full-on half
yes,
elf.
and why his fathers are humans.
Right. Okay. Cool.
So she looks at your group, and her eyes sort of go bright a bit and like excited. And she's like, "Ah, are you Phelan?"
I am.
Wonderful. Yes, Elliman was telling me about you. Oh, it's so fortunate to see you here. How are you? How are you doing? She just walks up and starts looking you over. Where is Gus?
Gus is flying above me.
All right.
Just as a quick, is Elliman the old guy I talked to?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be my
Okay.
many times grand uncle.
Okay. Just remembering who I remember.
Technically, many times grandfather, but married in. So yeah.
I did not realize that was what I was doing when I made him my uncle, but I'm cool with that.
Yep. It's still called uncle, and it's not like officially recognized, but that's where your partially elven blood comes from.
Okay.
So.
All right.
So yeah, she looks around and she looks up and she spots Gus and it's like, oh, and who is this little fellow? Oh, Elliman did not tell me about him. Is this your familiar?
He is. Yes.
Oh, where did you summon him from?
I must be honest, I'm not entirely sure. The spell sort of came to mind. I spent some time figuring it out and casting it, and thus Gus appeared.
You are quite the little hedge mage, aren't you? Very interesting. Didn't necessarily believe Elliman when he told me that there was a wizard from the woods, but no, this is quite impressive, quite impressive. We should have tea sometime.
That would be delightful.
Oh, and Abel, oh, good to see you. My condolences for the situation with your family. Oh, I'm sure that you need to be on your way to see your uncle, I imagine.
Yes, my apologies. If we could catch up later, sir, I would. Yes, I would be much glad for it.
Oh, of course. Do be on your way. Don't mind me. And yes, Phelan, I look forward to speaking with you later. And she heads off.
I did not expect that.
You're famous now.
Is that a common thing that like Abel would know that like all the high elves talk to each other and like gossip?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's the most of you. They all go from house to house, like tower to tower. Her tower is in the fort. It's not separate outside of it. But they're all the ones that you can think of are all like wizards.
That's actually a really cool like world building conceit. I kind of like that. Like all of the elves are just like ancient grandparents, just like sitting in towers, literally like just gossiping about everything that's happening.
The normal ones all died horribly in a catastrophe. So
yeah, I suppose
like,
we're just left with the weird ones.
Yeah. So the guard sort of leads you, keeps on leading you back to the room, opens a door, and there's like a little sort of like sitting room with your uncle and some of his guards. He's like, Abel, I wish to speak with you alone, because see your retainers off. And sort of like shoos them away.
If you all wouldn't mind waiting outside, I'll update you shortly.
I'm gonna leave Gus.
Actually, Alina would go, I beg your pardon. And she pulls out her paperwork. I have paperwork now! I feel like it is within my rights and as another set of ears to stand with Abel in this moment, if you do not mind.
Sort of stops, taken aback by that. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
I'm bad
with,
at
with
it.
advantage because you have the papers.
Why can't I just have... I wish we'd had more time.
Could you have Abel do it? Like I could say that.
You can give her the help, but she's the one who has to
Okay,
stay.
I'll give her help. Not that she looks
Oh,
like
there
she
you go.
needs it though.
He looks
Oh,
and is
she
like,
doesn't need it.
this isn't a royal matter, but if you insist. Yeah, no, she can stay, but the rest of you out.
Of course. I'm going to leave Gus.
Okay.
Can I put Gus in my pocket?
I mean, Gus wouldn't be able to see in your pocket, and he'd be more noticeable.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him. I just
Gus
want to
can
hang
fly
out
up
with
and
Gus.
hide behind a shelf.
Yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check for Gus.
I have got to start summoning Gus.
Gus doesn't get summoned. Gus exists. You
Yes,
can't
but
pop
I need to.
Gus in and out.
I need to put him on here so that I can use his attributes.
Well, you can just open up the sheet and roll from the sheet, same way as you do your own.
Yeah. I use the little buttons up at the top to roll for myself.
Oh,
Yeah, I've started getting in
alright.
the habit of doing that. It's pretty.
Yeah, you can.
useful.
Yeah, go ahead. If you want to throw your tokens on the screen, just when it's on scenes like this, feel free. If that's easier for you guys.
Attaboy!
Very
There you
nice.
go.
Atta Gus!
Gus is completely hidden. All right, so everybody else leaves. Lord Whitewater just sort of sits there, fumes for a bit, and like turns to Alina. It's like, now what is the royal family's interest in these affairs?
Our interest in these affairs is a matter that must be settled between Abel's uncle. And that's where are we? Okay.
Yeah, you're speaking to my uncle.
I'm seeing your uncle? I didn't
Yeah.
This is
realize.
my uncle.
His uncle.
Yeah, this is
Me?
He's
Yes,
looking.
you.
He was just like, yeah, you asked to
I didn't
stay.
say that.
Why are you asking to stay?
Well, some things have come to light. I was thrown off. I thought we were in another place, and I was like, I have no idea
Did
who
you
you're
think that we were-
talking to anymore.
Did you think we were talking to the Marquis?
I did.
Yeah.
Would you like to rescind your request and go and wait outside?
No, I'm hanging
Okay.
out with Abel.
Okay. So he's just like waiting for your response. For like, why are you insisting on saying this?
Well, with the recent developments in the world, it has come to the Crown's attention that things are not as they appear, and Abel and I have been tasked with sussing out the truth together. So anything he hears, I hear as well.
They're not as they appear in what way?
She would. I'm feeling cheeky about it. She's gonna open the door, and she's gonna be like, Galahadrid, can you do a spin for me, please?
Galahadrin spins around with the shield. Right, with the shield?
You don't
Yep.
have the shield out. You've purposely
Nope.
put it in the bag of
Okay.
holding before you guys got
No,
here.
we did
No,
not.
Because
Did we?
it's
Oh.
officially under
What?
the Crown protection now, so we
No,
don't
yeah.
hide it.
Okay, so you are wearing it out and about now.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. The last conversation we had, I remember you
Heroic
specifically
spin.
putting it in the bag of holding.
That
even
was
after you gave it.
before Eilina took her oath.
Okay, I
And then-
remembered that as afterwards, but that's fine. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, so
I think it happened later. Later in time in canon,
Mhm.
but then we went back and retconned that she went and took her oath, and so
Gotcha.
then
Okay.
I formally turned the shield over to her.
And I formally turned it over to Galahadrid.
Right, as her retainer.
I
Alright,
do a
he-
heroic
he-
pose.
All right, so we're gonna rewind a bit because he would have noticed that.
Now
He
I'm
still would've
the
asked
only
him-
one getting kicked out.
Yeah, he still would have asked everybody to leave, and then if Alina insists on staying,
I'm saying.
so point that out. It's like, I see that you found that. Oh, that's not. This isn't Monty's voice. I see that you. No. What's my fat voice? What's my fat voice? Boy. I see that you found the relic that the bishop has been annoying me about for years. Well, Andy, where did you find that?
I will
Bag you
first.
gave us?
I will look to Abel. And like for any sort of sign of like a yes or a no to continue this conversation in a more confrontational manner. Well, confrontational is a word, but like to tell him where we found the bag.
I mean,
Or
he can't.
the shield.
He's staring at you, Abel, as he asks
Yeah,
this.
there's literally nothing he can do about it at this point, right? Like it's out of his hands.
Oh yeah, no,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
the property. You have announced it, and it is under ownership of the royal family.
Yes.
So
Well, I'll speak on it. Well, you see, Uncle, after that priests killed themselves and called all this hell down on my head, the shield was found in the bag of holding that you gave me for payment.
sort of stares at you. Turns to look at Alina. Turns to look at you. Where is it?
You backhanding me? He's literally attacking me?
Yeah.
Backhands you for 1 damage.
He definitely didn't want. He wanted you to play along. He wanted you to be like, "Oh, oops! It was the gnome must have had it."
So yeah, he just full on backhands you across the face. One of his rings just slashes across your cheek and
Am I
draws
in the
blood.
room? Am I in
You
the
are
room?
not. You are
I-
you opened the door, spun around, and then the door was closed. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So that happens. And he looks down at you. It's like, you little worm. You gave the shield that your sister died for to another house.
Didn't exactly have a choice.
Do you mean you didn't have a choice?
You were using it to buy guns. Do you know what kind of
Using it to
sacrilege that is?
I was using it to protect this house. You incompetent buffoon! I sent you on a simple errand.
Mm-hmm.
Look
That's
at what
not-
happened now. We weren't able to defend ourselves.
Do you think a bag full of guns would have made a difference? What even the hell happened?
I was able to leave before it happened. I didn't think it was going to happen so quickly. He sort of looks around, looks at Alina, and it's just like he's furious and has lost his composure.
The crown's gonna find out one way or
fun
the
fact.
other.
The second he slapped Abel, Alina has pulled from her pouch a pen and paper and is writing down every word he says.
Oh, feel free.
No, please.
Another
Continue.
backhand.
Walks over, grabs like a glass bottle of like brandy, like pours himself a finger of it. Our house is going to die because of you, Abel. Hope you're happy with yourself. Who knows how many of your cousins are still alive?
So the house
Well,
is
what are
going
you
to die
doing here,
because. Oh, you beat me to it.
I was coming here because without the weapons that I sent you to get, we were not going to be able to protect ourselves from Blackbriar.
Blackbriar. You're saying
Yes,
Blackbriar did this?
Of course he did. He's been gunning for this house for years, ever since your sister upstaged him.
So instead of protecting your home, you.
I was
ran.
protecting my home. I was getting weapons to defend our castle from whatever riffraff he could send at us.
Obviously, it wasn't riffraff if they've torched the castle. What kind of a force? Like,
I don't
I'm still
know
not
what
clear.
kind of force.
So you don't know. You're the castellan of Pontem, and you don't know what the state of your own castle is in?
No, it happened while I didn't learn of the attack until I was already here. I
And
didn't
what are you
expect it to
doing
happen so
here?
soon. I was coming here to petition the Marquis for more defenses, something that I could use to protect the castle instead of the weapons that I was going to give to my guard so that we could have an advantage over anyone that tried to invade. But you're familiar with them now, and you remember that these weapons were billed you as castle clears, as very good in like close quarters combat.
Right. Yeah.
So, takes a drink.
So
But that still doesn't answer the question of why you're still here. Why
I don't
haven't-
have a force besides my gods. Zemelda Franck has already has been dispatched to the castle, should be there by now. And as far as we have heard from the clergy in town, the entire castle's guard has been killed.
So there is a contingent headed towards your castle, correct?
Oh, they've been there. Zemelda sent some men into the castle. They didn't
And you
return.
did not ride with them to
You
defend your home.
you would know that Zemelda would have is nearby. This is a few days away, and he has 2 guys with him.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, he still could have been there to
Oh, he could have.
supervise.
Yeah.
It still is home.
Yeah. Well, you're here
So-
now.
So you're telling me that you...
I am telling you that due to your incompetence, he spreads his arms right as he says this, due to your incompetence and inability to perform a simple errand, that we have been outplayed by Blackbriar. Congratulations, Abel. Your sister died for nothing. Takes another drink.
So
What exactly are
committing
you saying?
no.
What exactly are you saying here? Because are you saying Blackbriar had my sister killed?
I haven't been able to prove it, but considering that she was on her way back from meeting with him on the front lines, that's what I have been able to conclude.
Hang on.
Hang on, this is a lot to take in.
Yeah. I am...
While you're collecting your thoughts, I have a question.
Yeah.
Both for Lev and then for this fucking piece of shit.
Okay, Lev first.
Um,
As it should always be.
is the peddling of incredibly valuable religious relics? I do not remember this. I don't remember. That's why I'm asking. Is it illegal? Like super illegal?
It is not explicitly illegal, there's no laws in the books that have punishments for it, but it is highly frowned upon. You are giving up a powerful weapon that, should for nationalistic purposes be with somebody for the country, and you are trading it away for something.
I mean, so basically he was... it's like a demonstrable act that he doesn't have faith in the Trinity, almost.
It's a demonstrable act that he felt that what he was getting was more important than the relic.
I mean, yes, but I guess within this religious context,
Oh yeah, it's, you think that a gun or a bunch of guns are more powerful than a relic of the Trinity. Yeah, there's an argument to be made there.
I mean,
There's a
it'd be like
theocrat-
if somebody was like, "Here, I'm gonna trade a piece of the true cross for a bunch of guns."
Yeah.
There's, it's
Which
kind
has
of
happened.
It's kind of inherently sacrilegious, right?
Yeah, but on the other hand, that's literally what funded ISIS. I mean, that's
They had
groups
pieces
do
of the
that.
True Cross.
Yeah,
I mean,
Whoa.
that's not a good comparison, but people do that all the time.
well, it's in the Crusades, right? There were multiple times where they found holy artifacts, and you wouldn't just trade that away for supplies or something unless you were absolutely desperate.
Yeah, but would you trade it for a machine gun?
I mean, maybe, but a machine gun, these are not.
No, they're a lot of shotguns made for close quarters combat, where if you're worried about defending your... Go ahead and make a religion... go ahead and make religion checks. Religion or history. And both of you can do this.
Pretty sure both those are the same for me.
Can-
I need to get...
Can I make one?
Yes, but you would be with disadvantage because you're not from here.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
I'll still make the history check.
Yeah.
Does it say -4? That can't be right.
So Abel, as you're wow, as you're sort of thinking it over and like the implications and stuff, there is no one you can think of in your family, either immediately or in your family's employ, that could make use of this relic. So there's definitely, if you're looking at it from a purely pragmatic sense, and you're not trying to be super, and your uncle is not a really strongly religious person. He does the ceremonies and like he does what he needs to, but he's not like your mother who gets into theological arguments with visitors and stuff. From a purely practical perspective, if he had this relic and if he wasn't using it for all of his years, it's like the worth is not that great to him.
Yeah, I
But
suppose. But like, even
it's not a foolproof argument, but you can see some shred of it's not an idiotic thing.
yeah, he's not an idiot. He's just
Yeah.
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 He is as I described him to you, which makes sense.
Yes.
Which is he's more about the practical things as opposed to like looking at how he could make use of it more as a like thing to rally around, perhaps.
Yeah, like it's not a foolproof ironclad like aha thing, but you can definitely it's not without merit.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But using the several questions, because A, I don't know, and B, I want to know. But is using something like the penny whistle, pinch whistle,
Yeah, pinch whistle.
Like underground trading? Wouldn't it be better to just
That's illegal. That's
openly give the relic to another house as a show of faith?
There could have been.
There's definitely other routes he could have gone. That would have been more above board. But
that's also a political question, though, and
yeah.
I don't think. And Abel could probably. I don't think that Abel looks at it and there's any obvious like people he could have traded it to get like in this moment. If you sat down and like looked at a map and like spent a lot of time on it, you might be able to come up with something. But off the top of your head, there's nobody you would be like, oh, he should have just traded it to this person for this thing.
What I probably should have done is back when we were at the capital at Norrest, is I should have told the prince the prince and princess that I would give the shield to Eilina if they cleared the guns. That's probably what I did.
You guys kind of skipped right past that.
Yeah, we did. We had lots of other things on our mind.
Yeah, which is the state of panic that usually that sort of letter that your castle's been attacked can lead to. So
yeah, hindsight's 2020, and it's apparently the purpose for which they were going to be used is past anyway. So, oh well, I guess an alternate timeline. We'll never know.
Can't brew on what ifs.
Yeah.
And so, Alina, you had a question for him as well?
Well, less so now. But so she would, for the sake of her documentation of this event, this conversation, so you thought it would be in your best interest to use, and she looks through her notes, sort of, a little dramatically. Not like dramatically, but she is making a small show of pinch whistles underground, very illegal exportation. Correct?
He sort of narrows his eyes to you a bit and is like, well, illicit trade felt like something that my nephew had experience with, as I'm sure that you and the prince and princess are aware.
Interesting. I'm sure they would love to hear that you mentioned them.
Oh, I bet that they already
Nark.
know.
Hmm.
I'm assuming, Abel, that if you asked her to stay, and she is an official knight of the royal family, that you've already felt the need to inform them of all of the workings and dealings of our house for some reason.
Mm, just, what was necessary to explain how the shield came into our possession?
Ah, yes, no, something... You know, I thought for a while there that you had actually learned some useful lessons at the academy, that maybe even though we had lost so much potential with your sister and her parents, that you would still have learned the ways of the world and with politics and connections and would be useful to us, but it appears that I truly was just left with the spare of a spare.
God, what a wang.
To be
Takes
clear,
another sip.
I'm not in this room, right?
No, no.
No. So then, Abel, since you have decided to make decisions for the benefit of the entire household on yourself, how do you plan to deal with Blackbriar, his machinations? Do you know what he's been up to? Do you know where his forces are now? Since you
Well,
seem to have all the answers.
according to you, they're inside Castle Pontem.
We haven't verified that. We just know that anyone who goes into the castle dies.
So, nope, I'm not in the room.
Gus just starts speaking from behind the bookshelf.
I don't think I could speak through Gus.
You cannot. That is a warlock feature.
Not yet.
Yeah.
It's a it's a warlock feature, but we'll see.
I could splash some warlock.
Well, since I am just the spare of a spare, if no one else is willing to go inside and see what's happening, then I suppose I'll have to do it.
By all means, you have my full support.
Hmm.
Oh, from back here, where he won't get hurt. Remember that, Abel. He's safe behind these big, sturdy walls. And she's actually going to walk up to Abel for a second, and she's going to clap him on the shoulder, and I'm going to heal his wound.
Oh, with your
You heard Frogs.
with
He's
glowing
like,
magic?
Yep.
I am not a fighter, Sir Katala.
I can tell.
I am an administrator. I am a businessman.
Mm. I'm sorry, sir. It is very obvious. Now, if you'll excuse me, Abel, we have better business to do than speak to this man any
It's
longer.
the Better Business Bureau.
If I'm dismissed?
You indeed are. Wish you the best of luck. And the door is opened for you.
Alright, I'll come out. Well, that could have gone better.
I could have killed him.
Galahadrin the whole time's been trying to talk to Phelan, who's been trying to listen to Gus.
I'm sorry, were you saying something?
Yeah, and then this happened.
Well, he's gonna see Gus leave.
Hey, let a bird get in here. Oh, whatever.
Who gives a shit about the bird?
Yeah.
Are you sure I can't, I don't know, hit him?
Yeah, go nuts. I'm telling
No,
you.
I'm asking Abel. When the door closes and they're walking away, she's like, are you sure I can't hit him?
As much as he disparages my political acumen, I feel like that would, in fact, be a bad move.
I know, but he's just...
Let him stew
Wow,
in
so
his...
the meeting didn't go well.
No, my uncle has seen fit to blame all of his disasters on me.
Yeah.
What a horrible, wretched, fat
He didn't
little
even
worm
think to
man.
ask how everything went wrong. Actually, which is interesting. Just like as a psychological note, just for not for any further mystery solving.
He seemed a little preoccupied with how, or with what, to ask how.
Yes. Well, I suppose we should go and see the the um the Marquis and see if he has any more useful information for us.
One of the guards here is like, yes, no, I can take it to the war room.
This is very
Okay.
much in character. I forget who the Marquis is. The titles confuse me.
So the Marquis is the boss of my uncle. So
Got it.
Yeah. So my uncle is like, uh, he's his technical title is Castellan, but he's one of the directly landed nobility, and then this would be his liege lord, and then this guy's the Marquis liege lord would be the king, and indirectly then the prince and princess.
Pretty decent liege lord, to be honest.
Yeah, there's the royal family, 3 marquis houses, and then beneath the marquis houses are various counts and castellans and barons. So there's like three governors, if you want to think of it that way.
So
So yeah,
president, governor, mayor. I don't know.
yeah, kinda. It's like a mayor of a larger territory. Yeah, like a big city mayor.
A big
kind of.
city mayor, mayor
Yeah.
of New York.
One of them big city mayors.
Yeah, like mayor of a county. Whatever the ruler of a county is. You know.
What is?
Well,
that?
that'd be a count, but still.
Yeah, that would be a count.
Yeah. So yeah, you are led to the war room. They knock and are led in. So the Marquis is there, Marquis Lucius Velicanth, you guys have not met yet, as well as his son, who it is Marquis Lucius Velicanth V, and then his son, Sir Lucius Velicanth VI. They both look up and Sir Velicanth, I'm going to say Marquis and Sir for those. Sir Velicanth is like, oh, Abel, it's good to see you, boy. And he sort of runs up and gives you a firm handshake, like a half handshake hug thing. It's like,
Yeah, I'll
so
return it.
sorry. Yes, my condolences. I'm so sorry to hear what happened to your family. We're doing everything we can. Zemelda has already gotten her forces in Pontem. They're making sure that the population is safe, and we are seeing whatever forces we can move in quickly to try and sort of get a handle on this situation. I believe we just got a message back from Baron Blackbriar. He's going to have his forces moved as quickly as he can.
Do we have
At
any
least now you can
information
go
about...
back and report to what Blackbriar is doing.
Yes, if my uncle was here, then he would know where Blackbriar's forces are, I suppose. Um,
So it looks. Did you guys say this out loud? Like.
No, he has to make an
Sure.
insight check.
Sure. So
Yeah.
it looks at both of you. It's like, come again. I don't quite understand that.
my uncle is under the impression that, well, he's worried about Blackbriars.
Those two. That's. There's no evidence that this was anything to do with Blackbriar. The reports that we have gotten from the bishops in town who observed the forces, it was a sort of motley, ragtag group, about 200 or so dispossessed farmers. Looked like they're probably from Colmar, but just stormed the castle and overwhelmed it with numbers. There was no
farmers.
well-equipped farmers.
Well-equipped farmers?
Your castle only had about a garrison of 50.
Okay, I mean, still, 4-1 is not good odds when storming a castle.
No, not typically. Something else must
Only
have
had a
happened, but we're
wheelbarrow.
not sure what.
Especially not when it's presumably untrained peasants versus...
The Marquis in the back is like, we suspect it was some of the former Colmar military who had agreed to surrender, but likely did not lay down their weapons entirely. They weren't wearing any banners or markings of any noble house. There was... I'm not sure how we could have seen this coming. Per Zemelda's report, she had noted that there was a increased number of travelers heading from Dranis up the river towards Pontem, but she was distracted by some other matters and didn't look into traffic going that direction on the river. She was more worried about some evidence she had seen from an attack that came from upriver instead.
An attack from, sorry, out of character. Do we know about this attack from upriver? Is that what we reported?
That might have been the one you reported, yeah.
Hmm. And we haven't been able to get anybody inside to figure out what's going on beyond just peasants.
This is the last report that I received just this morning, and he hands you another hawk sort of message thing. And it's from Zemelda, and it's like a attempted to enter castle, lost 5 knights holding outside.
5 knights.
Yes. And you would know that, like, Zemelda Frank's, like, house, it's not very big, but she has quite a few very skilled, like, it's a quality over quantity sort of thing.
Right. So the fact that, so it's a big deal that it was 5.
Yeah.
That got lost. Yeah.
These aren't like royal knights, like she's still a baroness, but like her whole thing was like, I have the special forces units that go up and down the river to handle things.
Right.
Yes, and fortunately we don't have much more information. Your uncle has been insistent that this was orchestrated by Blackbriar, but has given no proof, and he is the only other house that has any sizable force that's not already committed to the front lines. He has been holding back his newly raised army since he got his barony, training them for the offensive that will happen next year. So this is a relatively fresh green troops, but they'll at least give us a few more numbers to try and figure out what's going on in the castle and hopefully pursue the forces who... we have reports that they fled across the majority of them fled across the river after the attack. We don't know what's still in the castle, but whatever it is... And he gestures to the message again, just kind of like at a loss for words.
So we think they stormed the castle, killed most or all of the people inside, and then left?
We don't have any more information. We haven't been able to verify the whereabouts of any of your family, whether dead or alive, except for your uncle, who he left for the Regency last month.
For the Regency?
You would know he does that occasionally.
Okay.
But that's where the wizards from the various family will like go on holiday to like have meetups and shit.
Oh, my other uncle.
Yes, sorry, your great uncle. Yeah, yeah, that one. Yeah, the wizard uncle.
At least he's safe.
Yeah, Lunar Spirit. And it's like, yes, it's unfortunate. I would like to have the House Wizard there for this situation. I'm inclined to believe that if some knights were killed, there might be some magic afoot, but I don't know how peasants would get a hold of magic. Anyways, it's good to see you, lad. Good to see that you're safe and you have one of these mercenaries with you.
No, actually. This is, Sir Eilina Katala. Eilina, would you...
I bow respectfully and I hand over my papers because I'm a paper dweeb now.
Oh.
Ah, so you did take the Rinswood's offer there. Good. Good to have you on board. Are you here because you are Abel's acquaintance? And he sort of looks over to his son as he says this, and his son nods affirmatively. It's like, are you here as a personal friend, or are you here on a official business assistance from the royal house?
I can safely say both. I've been tasked to be here.
All right, well, on behalf of House Velikamp, we do officially request that you assist House Whitewater in clearing up this situation. We are unfortunately stressed thin with the war efforts and don't have much else to spare.
It would be my honor. I do have a question, and I know it is rather sensitive.
No, of
And
course.
she's going to walk over to. I'm assuming they're standing around a map.
Yeah, they're standing. Yeah.
And she's going to look over and she's going to point to where we heard the rumors about the famine.
Okay. So the map that's currently laid out, it looks like they were not necessarily talking about Pontem at this moment. There's a lot of like figurines and troop movement stuff for the war in general, like at the front lines and stuff. But Pontem and such is still on the map along with the rest of Colmar and
That's
Valar.
fine.
Yeah.
We heard, all of us. Please, we did not introduce them. These are my retainers. This is Phelan, and this is Galahadran. They will also be assisting us in this endeavor.
A pleasure to meet you, Marquis. And that's Gus.
And
Gus
that is Gus.
And Marrow.
And Mary.
Ah.
Mara.
It's a strange animal you have there. I believe my son mentioned that it spoke.
She does.
Sort of looks at Marrow, like quizzingly.
When she wants to.
Fair enough.
But we did hear rumors. We did not have time to investigate it ourselves, and I feel like I should have. But there was talk of a very serious famine happening.
Yes.
Is that where the peasants came from?
It's possible. We have received complaints from the Church of Carrick of food in the occupied territories not being distributed fairly under the guidance of some of the houses, including House Whitewater. We didn't think it was... didn't find any outright corruption or anything when we investigated lightly. We are far more concerned with the war effort, but it does appear that might have been a larger issue than we anticipated.
Is there any has there been any movement to, I don't know, sending a small team down there to gauge the situation and on a first hand?
That is what the Church of Carrick has been working on. The archbishops in Dranis would be more aware of the current situation. I do know that prior to this, I believe Baron Blackwater was going to be sending out some relief from crops from his own territory to help with the issue, but that might have been derailed with the current crisis.
I'm going to make a note of that in my brain to write down in a moment. Because I'm not going to pull out a pen and paper right now. She goes, yes, there is nothing, I'm afraid, starving people won't do.
No.
It would make sense if they were to get their hands on any sort of magical artifact, or magical assistance. They would be driven to that point, and that is unfortunate. What do you think our next steps should be?
He looks around and it's like, he sees the relic on Galahadran's back, and it's like, well, if you are Knight of the Royal House and you carry relics with you, and if you wish to help House Whitewater, your presence in Pontem could be beneficial. Get another set of eyes on the field, provide assistance with Baroness Franck, if possible. How, and he looks over and it's like, I believe somebody mentioned to me that your elf here was a wizard. Do you have the capabilities to deal with sort of more magical threats? Is that something I can trust you with?
I'm not sure. I haven't been against mages before.
Yes, as of now, I have already committed all that I can to assist with that. House Whitewater either has its forces committed to the front, where I cannot spare them to return to their lands, and The forces he was keeping back as a garrison are, as far as we are aware, been wiped out. So,
I would ask for one thing, and I understand if that is something that
if
cannot be
I'm able
done.
to provide it, I will do my best.
We require fresh horses. Our horses have been traveling pretty hard for the past week.
Make a persuasion check.
Uh, Where's the button?
Abel, you can help with this.
Yeah, I'll help.
I said that before you rolled. Just that.
Boom!
There you go. He looks over at Mero and is like, "Do you think you can get your canine companion into a saddle?"
Mero just looks at him confused.
If you can find some way to strap that one onto a griffin, I can have a team of griffins ready for you in the morning. And get you there in a day.
We can make a little cradle.
He doesn't know about my animal handling.
Yeah.
He's gonna be so surprised.
He's making the
He's
offer.
gonna be so surprised when I ride that thing like a surfboard.
Surfboard.
We can provide riders to handle the griffins themselves, and you could all, ride on them and get you there within a day.
That would be much appreciated.
And I will get prepared. In the meantime, get a good night's rest, and we'll depart first light in the morning. And he sort of looks at Abel, it's like, Trinity's blessings go with you. May Carrick protect us all.
Thank you, sir.
Dismissed.
Now. And I leave.
I'll leave as well.
Alright. So yeah, it is 1 p.m. You're at Goldcliff, and you leave in the morning. So. The guards collect you, and they're like, "We've prepared your rooms. We can show you to them if you wish. Just, Yep. So.
Excellent.
Galahadron's gonna try to call Rosin again. The ritual casting of the call steed.
Go ahead and make a Arcana check.
All right. Let's see.
There's still a barrier in the way. Like, there's you don't. There's something blocking this this realm from wherever you're trying to call them from.
Oh, I thought that those quicklings said there was a portal.
There might be. You would need to be closer to it. All right. Are there any things that you guys want to do for this day, or do you want to skip ahead to tomorrow morning with the? Yeah?
Real quick, remind me that guy's name.
All right. There's been a lot of guys.
The guy that I'm supposed to go talk to, or I'm supposed to talk to his
That'd be a
sure.
girl.
lady.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lucilia Sungust.
I'm gonna take a stab at how to spell that. Lucill. How did you spell that, bud?
Lucilla Sun. You had it right. You just needed an A.
Lucilla. Okay. Sungust. And that is, what's the older dude's name?
Elemen Lunar Spirit.
Okay.
I assume you mean the older dude that was Abel's great uncle.
Correct.
Yeah.
The dude who warned her about me.
Yes, the two high elves that you've met.
Correct. Okay, cool. Then I would like to speak with her.
Okay.
I told her I would.
Okay. You ask around for where she is. They lead you to her room, and she's like, "Oh, so soon? Oh, wonderful. Yeah, let me prepare tea." And she prestidigitates and mage hands, just like the whole Beauty and the Beast coffee pot tea setup thing. in her little. You're led up to her tower and stuff, and she's got a sitting room with tea sets, and she just does that. She's like, so, Master Phelan, please do tell me, where did you learn the arcane craft? I'm very curious. I wasn't aware that any of the Garrison Woods had such a tradition.
They don't. Truth told, I didn't learn it anywhere. I
Really?
remember sitting in a boat,
Mhm.
fishing, and contemplating the grander design. Came upon a revelation and suddenly had abilities. Since then, through practice and experimentation, I have gotten more abilities.
Interesting. So there's no formal training, no, and she like sort of draws some glyphs and runes and stuff in the air. It's like, no, can you comprehend arcane runes and languages and such? Can you decipher these?
I mean, I can roll an Arcana check, but I doubt I will.
You could give me a DC 30, man.
Oh man, let's roll a 20. That'd be low. That'd be delightful. Still not gonna make it, but yeah, not a chance.
Well, that's Gus.
Oh, that is Gus.
Minus
It's this. I
4.
think it's. Oh, that's -4. I was like, I
So
think
that's a
it's the same.
16. Yeah. No, you should have a plus to your Arcana. You have good intellect.
I do.
Gus
There we
does
go.
not.
Well,
Okay, well,
not
works
much better.
Yeah, it's they're runic. You know that they're like wizard magical stuff. You understand context clues.
Yeah, I understand that it is clearly magical, but
Hmm.
it makes no sense to me.
Element did say you were a curious case. So, an epiphany on magic. I must tell you, in my years of study, I've never heard of such a thing.
Though I have spent little time actually researching it, I have yet to find such a thing.
Curious. I would love to know. Well, walk me through your process. How did you summon your familiar? What runes did you draw? Where did you pull them from? What did you use to bind them to your service?
Sure. I've had a talent for creation. I attempted to make something that would help, and that I can do. How big is this room? Can I
It's
summon? Big Gus comes in the form of medium Gus before I bump him.
Yeah,
Do I have room to summon Big Gus?
He just barely fit. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can just make a sword. I have a talent for creation. I can summon a sword or another animal, but I wanted something that could think on its own. And so we attempted to do that. I created a bird. It's simple enough. And spent a good deal of time attempting to create life in that bird. And though I don't believe he's a masterwork, he is certainly alive.
She sort of goes and inspects them more closely, draws some more runes and stuff. Well,
I will admit to a certain amount of unease, as I don't understand what you're doing.
I am trying to analyze the magical patterns underpinning your conjurations, and I'm not sure if it will make you more or less at ease to know that I am not finding any.
I don't know if that makes me more or less at ease either.
I have not come across this. Tell me, you're currently traveling with Sir Whitewater and part of his retinue. Do you have any interest in more formal studying? I can put you in touch with some of my teachers at the Azure Academy, if that sparks your interest. Sure that Element and I can write you a good letter of recommendation. If you don't wish to go that far, I can probably find some contacts who are more studied in the Regency I can put you in touch with.
I would certainly love to speak with anyone who knows about magic. As I'm given to understand, that is not a very widespread.
No, it is, for the most part, limited to those with ties to the old imperial ways. So,
Do we know anything? I'm assuming sorcerers are a thing in this world.
sorcerers are not necessary. Well, you go ahead and make an Arcana check.
That's fair. Some backwards hick might not know about sorcerers at all.
Yeah.
Gus?
Again, Gus needs to stop. Well,
There we
that would be a 2 regardless. We're gonna go with the 2 plus 4 is a 6. You've never heard of the concept, but you've never heard of a lot of concepts.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know how people come about their magic traditionally, but I've been given to understand that it is years of hard study, not
Traditionally,
an errant thought in a fishing boat.
I know my nephew, and she puts her fingers in quotes. My nephew and some of the other half elves who are given the chance to study at the academy are able to learn some form of spells, but it's really it is a field of scholarship that requires more than just a simple human lifetime.
Interesting.
But you seem young enough and accomplished for your age. I'm sure that there's much that the academy could offer you, if you feel so inclined to share your techniques with them.
I would be certainly eager to speak with them.
Well, let me know if you would ever like me to put you in touch with them.
If you have a contact I could reach through letter, as I do still travel quite a bit.
I can send a letter on your behalf. Where would you like a response delivered to?
That is a fantastic one. Do I remember? Where are we going?
You're going to Pontem. Who knows where you're going to be whenever this letter would be delivered?
If it's all right, can it come back here?
Of course, I can hold it for safekeeping for you.
That would be amazing.
I'll even let Elliman know if it arrives and he's back as well, so we can both inform you.
Excellent. Is Elliman magic? I assume so.
He's a wizard. He's the guy that you went
Okay.
into his tower and he drew some circles and analyzed you a bit.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be delightful.
Of course. No, more than happy to help. And then she makes small talk for as long as you stay.
I do have one final question.
Of course.
If you're still in a mood to write runes and inspect something.
Of course, yes. What can I do for you?
I will put my sword on the table. This resonates with my magic.
Does it? Sort of looks at it, does again, draws some things, draws some symbols, looks at it, it's like, I have never seen something like this before.
Well,
where did you get this?
a cheat of an antique seller, told me it was from the dunes. But I got it from him.
A glass blade. I've seen glass blades. This is not a glass blade. Those are not magical.
More's the pity for them. It's a very good sword.
No, this is giving off, and she sort of leans back and just deep in thought, trying to I've seen this somewhere before, but I'm not sure where. And
well,
then she sort
we
of
are
stopped,
going
she's
to
like,
Pontem next. If you think of something.
There was a relic like this in the Regent Lord's vault. Didn't have the same look, but it had the same resonance.
Which relic?
There were a few of them. There was a spear and a dagger. I don't remember much beyond that. Weapons are not necessarily my forte. I just remember that they gave off a very strange aura different from the traditional relics that he collects. I asked him about them, and he waved it aside. I don't remember much beyond that. He's a very secretive man, you see.
This was Elliman?
No, this was the Regent Lord of Avency.
Excellent. And see.
Can you
And
pull up the relic?
I was gonna say, can you throw me the book?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can do that. She's not going to be able to identify it.
That's fine. I'm looking for myself.
It also, that book is not a complete list. So,
Do we know if he has them still?
the last I saw, he's. I can almost guarantee you he'd not be willing to part with any of them. He is
No.
convinced he needs to keep them safe for King Owen's return.
Well, that may be coming faster, I believe.
What an ominous thing to say.
I have been told I have met at least 2, possibly 3 of them.
I must say that is the most outlandish thing you've told me today, and she takes a sip of her tea.
I find it hard to... Well, suppose it's the company I keep. I find it hard to believe that's the most outlandish thing I've said.
Yeah.
This has been eye-opening. Thank you.
It has been mutually entertaining, I assure you. Yes, please let me know if there's anything else I can do for you, and enjoy your stay.
I don't think I'll get to. We head out tomorrow.
Such a shame. But yes, the affairs of the outside world.
The perks of being a... What am I?
1 sec.
Rose, what am I?
An elf.
No. Vassal? That's not right.
Regent. No?
Regent. No?
Retainer, you mean?
Retainer.
Thank you.
I was reading and I was like, it's an R word.
All I could think of was vassal, and I'm like, that's kind of close.
All right, I'm
It's
back.
not it.
What's
Yeah.
the question?
I was trying to remember what Rose called me. It's the perks of being a retainer.
Retainer, yeah. It's like, oh, you shouldn't settle for just being a retainer, my dear boy.
For now, I think that's what I'll stick with.
Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
All right. Meanwhile, I believe that some talk was had with the rest of the group. Or at least Tika has indicated that it might have happened.
Yes, it has.
Do you want to roleplay that?
Yes.
All right, go for it.
All right, I'm leaving while you're all doing this.
No, I mean roleplaying being told, being updated.
Roleplay being told. I already did that
Okay.
in a private chat.
All right.
To be fair, all I said was Alita might have mentioned it. 'Cause she's angry. She's doing breathing exercises. Because she's an adult. Galahad, that meeting went terribly. Would you like to see my notes on it?
I suppose I can read notes. Yes.
She hands over the notebook.
All right. Yep. All right. What exactly is in these?
It's everything
were
he
you?
said.
Oh my goodness. Everything he did. Yes.
Yep.
Oh yes. All right. I have to go. Galadriel's going to leave.
No, Galahad, you can't just leave.
I'll be right back.
I'm gonna follow him.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Abel, you stop your man. Abel,
What?
Get your
Abel,
man.
get your mans. He's acted a fool.
What? Wait, what did you tell Galadrin?
Oh, I told him everything. What do you think? I'm not gonna lie to him.
I'm
Oh,
sprinting.
no.
I'm sprinting.
No running in the
Galadrin,
holes.
you're too gallant for me. Come back.
Oh, Galahad has fainted.
Okay.
What? What?
Galadrin's fainted? What?
No, you, Abel.
Oh,
Hold
Abel's
on.
Do you need
fainted?
to come back?
I tripped and fell on my face. Over your leg.
Galadrin, help!
Okay, all right. I return. Are you
No.
all right? Are you all right?
Yes, I'm alright.
All right, then I have to go.
No,
No, wait, no,
Galadrin,
I'm not alright. I need emotional support. Galahadrin.
He's earned a he's earned a duel. You can't, or things you can't let slide. I owe a debt to you, and this is a part of the debt. It's you can't let somebody say those things to you, do those things to you.
It's his right as
It is not.
Castellan. I am his sworn knight.
He has no castle.
Hmm.
And what's more, he has no right to do this. No. I'm the prince. I'm the Prince of Summer. No one can deny me a duel.
He's not worth it.
I understand how you feel, Galahadrin. If I had had my way, I would have struck him in that room. But there is a lot
Certainly.
of political machinations.
Yes. Oh, undoubtedly. There's a lot going on that it's going over my head, but this doesn't, and this requires an answer. It requires one. I've watched you all do it. Abel's done his best to be of service to his lord. He can't.
Not good enough, apparently. It's
Well,
never
that's
good
why.
enough.
No. Galadrin leaves. Galadrin's sprinting.
Galadrin, no.
I said no running in the holes.
Going so fast. Who
Where are
is
you
that?
going?
I go past him. No one tells me what to do. I'm the Prince of Summer. Get out of the way.
Attaboy. I'm on board.
Yeah. There are guards outside of the. You're in the same guest wing, so it's not a long sprint, but there are guards outside of the room where you last saw the Lord Whitewater. They was like, halt! What's your business?
I am here to speak with with Lord Whitewater.
I am right on his heels.
Same.
They look over and they see the three of you. It's like, okay, they open the door and they're like, Lord Whitewater, your nephew and
I
Sir
challenge
Cacalia
you
are
to
here.
a duel.
They sort of look back and we're like just
I am-
staring at you aghast.
I, the Prince of Summer, challenge you, Lord Whitewater, castellan of no castle, to a duel, to answer for your words to those who I am indebted to. Galadrin draws his sword.
Guard just looks at you, Abel, like, what the fuck is this person doing?
Abel looks back at them like, I don't know.
I wish the fuck I knew.
I wish I knew.
From inside the room is like, let them in. Their door is open for you. Lord Whitewater is sitting there. He is pouring himself another, glass of brandy. He's sitting there, his shirt's unbuttoned a bit, sort of leaning back in the. It is, need to stress here, 1 p.m. And he is just leaning back in his chair and just looking at you guys, just the fuck are you guys doing again? It's like,
Galahad,
oh no,
I don't think that he's in any state to duel.
young boy, no, come in here. Let's say that again. I'm not sure I caught that through the door. You're challenging me to a duel.
Yes, the Castellan of No Castle, I challenge you to a duel.
What are your terms?
Because I have challenged you, you have to pick the place. I pick sword.
I pick here. Is this a duel to first blood, to the death?
What's Galadrin leans to the side to Alina. What's typical here? Is it? Is it?
First blood is
typical?
acceptable.
First blood, yes.
Ah, very well. Abel, I name you as my champion. And he takes another sip of his drink.
Abel just buries his face in his hands.
You have to be the champion.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he for sure does.
Do you still wish to continue, Master Galahadrin? I'm sure that my nephew would be more than happy to defend my honor against the insult I made to him.
Seems pretty cowardly to have somebody else fight on your behalf.
It's my right. Takes another drink.
Alina looks sad.
The Lord of Summer, bound by rules, bound by chivalry, but also by summer is the season of passion.
Alina's gonna lean forward, and she's going to quietly whisper in Galahadrin's ear. She's like, "This is what I was trying to tell you.
This
He is."
can't. Hold on. I have to. This is processing. Nobody. You're not gonna.
Oh, take your time, take your time. Sir Katala, would you like a drink?
I will pass. It is 1 p.m.
Summer
Oh,
can't
it's a shame.
It is
tackle a
1
man.
p.m.
Can't
It's 5
tackle a
o'clock in
man.
Osmar.
You're the Prince of Summer, even if you want to.
I'm going to actually, Alina is very quietly going to nod her head to the Worm Man, as I will now refer to him, Duke Leto Atreides II. Is that how I picture him, by the way? But I'm going to pull Galahadrin out of the room and down the hallway a little bit, and I'm going to put my hands on his shoulders.
This is an outrage. I'm processing.
I know it is. I know. Look at me.
I can't just. It's now there are two impossibilities. Right next
I
to each
have
other. It's a
an
debt
idea.
that must be answered. It's a debt that must be answered.
I agree, but I have an idea. Are you willing to listen now?
Yes.
Okay. It is and I'm speaking quietly. I just can't do it or my mic won't pick it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Stage whisper.
I think that there is much more going on, that the well of corruption within that man runs deeper than we think, than Abel thinks. But if I can use my new station and get him arrested, you might be able to get your duel. I can ask, well, I can beseech, if you will, the prince and princess that his trial be by trial by combat, and ask you to be the champion of this.
Am I in
I
this
can
at
ask.
all?
I assume you're not drawn away. No.
Okay.
No, I literally pulled him out.
Okay.
Can Mero be in this huddle?
Yeah.
Mero can be in the.
Okay, Mero's like, worst case scenario, we just kill him.
I can't kill him in cold blood, but I also
I can.
That's true. It's one of your
As long
many
as you don't tell me about it.
Good cop, dog cop.
I do. What about Alina? Can I just for right now? A debt has to be answered. What can I? Can I just? Can I?
You
can
can
I
fight Abel.
one slap? I can't slap him. I
You
can't.
cannot
But
slap
he
him.
has to be though.
I know,
Yeah, but
but
I
it is
can't.
his right in this land because Abel is under his power. It is within his right for any punishment directed at him unless, and I say this as gently and with as much love as possible, someone who outranks him here, not in the Fey realm, but here, forces him to take the punishment himself. He can deflect the punishment. And Abel, unfortunately, is the perfect candidate, especially because it will be more humiliating for Abel, because he thinks this is Abel's fault. He thinks all of this, everything that has gone wrong, he blames on Abel. And so you doing this and him forcing Abel to take this as for his punishment would be an act of open humiliation against Abel. That is all this is. It is mind games with him.
He's very clever.
Sorry, what was the phrase you used? Oh my god, I'm so fucking stupid.
No, that wasn't what she said.
No, I did not say that.
No, I was gonna say, what's the phrase that Galahadron's using?
A debt must be repaid.
The debt. Okay. Must it be a known debt? Because there's always the possibility you can do something that makes you feel good that he doesn't have to necessarily know about. And by that, I mean, we can go pee on his bed.
The other thing I was thinking you could do.
Whoa, Marrow, you are filled with great ideas.
Or we could do
Or
that, or we're going to his castle. This is the perfect time.
To pee on his bed.
That's what I was thinking.
That, I guess, but we can take this time, defeat whatever, hopefully. There is no evil there, but people are dying, so I'm assuming there is. We can take that time to investigate him. Your debt to Abel might be paid by releasing him from what I can only imagine has been torment.
Goodness, I hope the Quicklings... I mean, if the Quicklings could just take him to the Feywild for a bit. That's what I want, curse him.
Well, I mean, but what better curse is there in this land than to take what he holds dear? Which is power.
Hmm.
We might
This is
not be
harder.
able-
I'll trust in your wisdom for now, but I do feel so thwarted because I did not think that about champions. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
And it's not your fault. He was doing that purely to humiliate him. And that is unfair. And Marrow? By whatever royal decree power I have, if we don't find any dirt on him, you are all more than willing. I will go for it. Pee on his bed.
pee on every bed.
Well, I don't need to do that.
But
Maybe
it
you
is kind
can.
of funny.
It's very funny.
Very funny.
Now, I need you to perform... I'm not going to say a lie. But I'm going to need you to show me the acting skills. The play skill. You've told me some of the
We do
performances.
have Blaze. We do have Blaze, yes.
I need you to perform for this horrible wretched of a man. You need to go in there and pretend to have apologized. You don't have to really apologize. I know. I don't like it either. I thought about cutting his hand off.
Is an apology necessary in this situation?
I'm afraid he might ask for one. But off you skate. Pretend that you have, air quotes here, seen reason.
Mm-hmm.
We do not want him to suspect us more than he already does. And we don't want any more. Anything we do to him openly and without proof, he will turn back on Abel.
All right then. Do I have to go now? Do I have to apologize? Do I have to?
Maybe not apologize, but you don't have to apologize right off the bat. You can just be like, "Oh, well, I've cooled down. I was in a fit of
Oh,
passion."
You know
Like,
what?
people-
You're right, Alina. You're such a good voice of reason. And Meryl, you have great ideas. Galhadron's gonna go back in.
I'm gonna follow
Uh-oh.
right behind.
I will take you up on your offer of wine. Lord
Very
Whitewater.
well. Pours a glass, or 2 fingers for you.
So we're
It-
not fighting.
No, he takes the bottle.
Are you apologizing for the challenge?
I'm accepting your hospitality. Let everyone know that summer always repays its debts. And he bows. I will serve your nephew to the best of my ability.
Sir Katala, does House Rinswood still request a duel with House Whitewater?
I
Or
do
will
not
they-
believe so, my lord.
So
Galhadron's
you
chugging his
rescind
wine.
your accusation and formally apologize?
I don't do anything formally.
Well, you are a retainer. This is your knight on behalf of the royal house. They can apologize for your lieges.
How many can I get through while we're doing this?
How many, that's a
Bottles?
constitution save.
Yeah, but I'm really good at this.
Well, that
This is like
depends
my
on your
whole thing.
constitution saves. Go ahead and
Okay,
make a
well-
constitution save for the first one.
Is this expensive?
You will drink it first and then make the con save.
Oh, it's a save. Hold on. Clicked on. Normal. Oh, beans.
So this is not wine. This is hard liquor. And
Hooray! I'll have you know
yeah,
that I can
it's
drink
not-
a bottle of that and stay awake.
it's not good hard liquor. It is harsh
Uh-huh.
hard liquor. So for the first time ever, Galahadron starts coughing after drinking.
Oh man, stuff's terrible.
It is not good quality. And it is what he is drinking.
It's also probably not even his, since this isn't his castle.
Damn it!
Yeah, it might be the case.
But yeah, Abel is just gonna be like, so we're not fighting, and then starts putting his shirt back on.
If House
Why was your shirt
Windsor-
off?
Oh man.
For the duel.
That's how you duel the first blood, right? So you
Yeah.
don't cut your clothes.
Yep.
Yes.
I also would say Galahadron would have lost because their sword is blunt.
Oh, yeah. I would have had to
But he
borrow
didn't know that. So
yeah, I didn't think about that. I wouldn't have thought about that. We
Yeah.
would have. Yeah.
I mean, you
he's
could
like-
make somebody bleed with a blunt instrument. It's just a lot harder.
it's yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to brain you with a. No.
Yeah, he's just looking at Alina and just like, is the challenge withdrawn and apologized for?
With a just sort of grace that I do not think I personally would have. Alina stands up. Oh, she's already standing. She steps forward, and she bows, and she goes, "On behalf of my retainer, I do humbly apologize, and the offer for duel is rescinded."
Very good. I forgive this insult from House Windswood and accept your apology. Drinks again. Abel, you would understand that in addition to all the other shenanigans, since Galahadron is wielding a relic entrusted to them by the royal house, that Galahadron basically on behalf of the royal house challenged your house to a duel for an insult. So there's It's not just Galahadrin and like as summer, like they don't care about the summer stuff. That was a much bigger deal.
Yeah, I picked up on that. Yeah. Um. All right. Well. Let's leave the Castellan to his drinks, shall we? Galahadrin.
You're lucky I'm not from Winter.
Bid you a good day.
Melina's gonna like shuffle everyone out.
Yeah.
Her retainer specifically.
Let's get you something actually good to drink.
That stuff was horrible. It's
It,
gone bad.
it was Costco scotch. Like it was not great.
Alina is very quiet, and she's actually going to. I'm assuming she's not wearing her armor. We're indoors, and we went to our rooms.
But I don't think that Galahadrin would have waited for the update until you were all out of your armor. It takes 10 minutes to get out of your armor.
That's true. Excuse me.
Abel's out of his armor.
I don't wear armor.
Yeah.
She's
I'm
gonna
still in
turn
my
to
full
one of the-
regalia.
You didn't want to do it, right?
I mean, in character, no. Out of character, I mean, it could have been fun and dramatic. But, I think this works as a resolution.
Alright, any other conversations to be had, for this day?
All Alina is gonna do is ask one of the guards where the training ground is.
They give you instructions for it. It's like, you should be more than enough space. And you've noticed as you're going through here, this place is relatively, again, much bigger building than it needs to be because they're squatting in old Imperial ruins. So you're given instructions to the training ground. Like there's some soldiers on it, but it is like 70% empty.
Okay. Yeah. She is going to go exercise out her just incredible frustration.
Okay.
The yuck. She feels yucky.
Abel is definitely going to thank Galahadrin for his efforts and compliment his gallantry and curse the what's the connivingness of his uncle.
It's too clever. I can't believe it. A champion. I didn't even think about that.
Abel, go ahead and do a history check.
Cowardice isn't cleverness.
Where's history? There it is.
You cannot remember a time where your uncle ever fought his own duel. The most famous one he was involved in, your sister trounced the other person on his behalf on something that you personally feel your uncle was in the wrong for. But your sister punched above her weight class so hard that was like kind of the start of her path to knighthood.
I see. He's been getting away with it as long as I can remember.
Yep.
So I guess let's go get something actually good to drink together.
Here to that.
All right. Yeah, you guys do that. You have drinks. Is there anything else, or are we just spending the evening sort of relaxing in preparation for whatever tomorrow holds?
I do have some crafting I actually figured out I would like to do.
Okay.
Because you can.
You've got the whole afternoon.
Yeah, so I guess sometime after things with Galahadrin come to a natural conclusion, whenever I have time, I figured out there's in the alchemy you can actually make like custom potions where you just like throw in ingredients and they give effects.
Okay.
And there's a common divine essence in my inventory, which you can put into a potion to make it a also give the effect of a lesser restoration.
Okay.
So I'm just basically gonna make a lesser restoration potion with this
Okay,
common
and are
divine
you
essence.
all right? And what are you adding that to, or just doing it itself?
Just doing it by itself, so it's just a potion of lesser restoration, essentially.
Let me see if that's the rules.
Yeah. So there's it's kind of combining two things. So there's additional materials. You can load more regents into any potion. Blah blah blah. At the end it says you can make a custom potion simply by using these modifiers with no base potion. When you do so, the base DC is 8. And then above that, there's an alchemy modifier, which is like other things you can add in. So yeah, so there's a small question there of can you do it with no base potion?
You can't because it's a modifier to the potion.
Okay.
Yeah. And that would be So if you craft like a healing potion, you can add that
Okay.
divine essence, and it would increase the difficulty for a crafting check by 3, but it would add that as a modifier.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking maybe I could combine the rules, but okay, never mind then. Then I'll spend the whole afternoon with Galahadrin without having any useful work that I could be doing in the
Okay.
alternative.
And then what was the custom one? Where did you see that?
It's right below it.
Right below it.
Like literally the next paragraph after
Yeah.
the next table.
Yeah, so if you have one of those things, let's see. Yeah, if you have one of those, like if you have a common curative or reactive or whatnot, you can make like common curative plus common divine thing, and do a plus 1d4 hit points, and then lesser restoration thing. But do you only have a divine essence, or do you also have
I think I only have a divine essence. That would be.
Yeah, you
like,
would need
I'd have
something
like
else.
I think I have like some reactives, but I don't think that helps because that would make it explode.
Yes. So you would need something else to muddle the divine essence with.
Yeah.
To give it that ability.
Okay.
So.
All right, that's fine then. We'll just look
Yep.
out for those regents later.
Yep. All right. Anyone else? Anything that we want to do, or just skip ahead to tomorrow? All right. The next morning. The next morning, crack of dawn, you guys are all, attendants come to your room to get you up. They lead you to the Airy at the sort of top of the tower thing. And you would know that this was like one of the primary things that the Empire used this for, was a griffin Airy. That's why it's so high up in the middle of the plains and all that such. They don't have nearly as many griffins now, but there are 5 sort of kitted out with they have riders each, and then there's a secondary saddle on the griffin for each of you to get on. Marrow, I'm going to need an animal handling check. Parth is muted, so they might not be here. Oh, what a shame. But I think everybody else should... Oh, Parth, animal handling check. I saw your mouse. Are you here? Are you muted? Are you dead? They died. What a shame. Let me just message him.
Sorry, I was upstairs making brownies.
Oh, no worries. Animal handling check to get on this griffin.
Where are you?
Yeah. The rider is a bit at a loss, but you and the griffin come to an understanding. And are able to... Let me know how you think you get onto this griffin who has another rider on it.
I can surf board.
Oh, that was an accident.
Like a surfboard. All right, yeah. You just hang on, and the griffin's for some reason cool with it. So you guys fly off. It is much quicker traveling on a griffin, and you guys arrive in Pontem in just as evening is beginning to set in. So just 12 hours instead of 3 days. You can see from like let's have everybody do perception checks as you sort of make a circle pass over the town. Okay. So you look through. The town does not look like, in general, it has been like raided or attacked. The main, like, the civilian places, like all the buildings are still standing. There hasn't been like any ransacking or burning or anything. The cathedrals are all standing perfectly fine. People are going about their day. Abel and Rhea, you two do spot, and I guess Galhadgen too, as you sort of fly over the castle itself. There's no movement within the castle, but you do see in the center of the courtyard just specks on the ground that are not moving, that you can probably assume are bodies in the courtyard. But otherwise, like nothing, no movement or activity that catches your eye while circling the castle.
Are the Griffin Riders willing to let us get in a bit closer to get a better look at the, I guess, potentially bodies in the courtyard?
We have orders to drop you off in the front of the cathedral, sir. Would you like us to put... we were told that the castle itself is unsafe.
That is true, yes.
Yes,
Very
if
well.
you don't mind, we would prefer to bring you down in the town proper.
Very well, set us down.
Hey.
Alright.
Can we ask the birds what they see? Because they have better eyesight than us, right?
Sure, go ahead and make another animal handling check.
Specifically looking for like information on all the bodies, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. They look down.
Is a bird too?
Can you speak with animals?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. You can go ahead, and I imagine you probably would have done that on the trip, just to have somebody to converse with. Birds are not very talkative. They're kind of focused on flying, so they're not good conversationalists, but as you sort of circle, they look over. They are just like, it just looks like dead bodies.
I mean, shit. Hold on.
All right.
Oh, Gus swoops down to look.
Gus can look. Gus
Okay.
has advantage on perception checks.
Okay, so Gus swoops down a bit, looks around. They see that the bodies, there are some bodies. Most of the bodies are dressed in... Actually, wait a second. Where is Gus?
I haven't dropped Gus yet.
No, I'm
Oh.
dragging this. Okay. So this is what Gus sees. And
I mean, that's not ideal.
because there's hedges and stuff, so...
Sure.
Gus sees a bunch of dead bodies. A lot of them are wearing livery that you would know as House Whitewater, but if you are also just wearing definitely armor, but more like there's no identifying marks on it. It's not well maintained like professional armor. It's more like what a mercenary.
Is that an
armor.
accurate token or a stand-in?
The majority of the dead bodies that are the sort of raiders are orcish, but not all of them.
Okay.
But it is, yeah. So the majority of them are orcs, and you would know that too. The majority of the farmers in Colmar are orcs. It's just the population.
Okay.
It's also just an easy way for me to show it's like, yeah, the Whitewater ones are humans and the others are orcs, but there is a a mix. It's just predominantly orc for Colmar, predominantly human
Wait,
for
do you guys have something
Whitewater.
on screen?
Yes, Gus is doing stuff.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I understand now.
Gus would. Are you having Gus fly into the buildings?
At this point, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Are you doing a stealth check?
Yeah, we probably should. Fuck.
Okay. All right. So have Gus do another perception.
We're about to say goodbye to Gus, boys. Come on.
Hashtag save Gus.
So Gus sees on the ground scurrying a rather large rat. Yeah, like probably like where most rats would be tiny, this is more of a small rat in terms of like token size. That sees Gus and starts scurrying over to it quickly. Does Gus move?
Up and out. Yeah.
All right. It starts chasing after Gus, but Gus is able to get away.
Okay.
And as you know what, you got a natural 20 on that. As it's chasing and it starts to clear, and Gus is able to get away, but it leaps at him, and its mouth opens in like a snarl, and then its face splits vertically, showing like a conical set of teeth inside of its face.
Ew.
And it snaps at Gus, and Gus is able to get the fuck out of there before it can eat Gus.
Attaboy Gus. Gross. Okay, yeah, we'll relay all of that when we land. I'm not going to scream it over the griffins.
All right. You land in front of one of the cathedrals. People are out to sort of greet you. First most amongst them is you would recognize as Baroness Imelda Franck and some of her retainers. Sees you all landing and it's like, yes, Abel, it's good to see you. Good to see you.
I wish it was under better circumstances, but yes, good to see you again.
As do I. And you have brought knights from the royal house to deal with this issue.
That's correct. Although you've met her before she was a knight, Elena.
Ah, yes. No, it's good to see you again, Sir Katala. It's good, Trinity. I hope that the Trinity comes with you. Yeah, come
What are the
in.
updates that you can give us?
Let's go inside first. I prepared sort of a war room, and they leads into the Church of Carrick, where Carrick is the god. It's one, the biggest building in the town, and two, like protection from outside dangers as part of Carrick's domain. Leads you in there. It's sort of a war room. It's like, well, came as soon as I got the message that the castle was under attack. Unfortunately, from the reports we got from some of the clergy and civilians, whatever forces attacked the castle cleared out pretty quickly afterwards. They did whatever they came to do and they left. I sent some of my forces in. I brought a good troop of 70 soldiers with me, and sent them in to try and take stock of the situation. And the 5 knights that went in first screamed and retreated, and everyone I've sent in since has not reported back.
They screamed, but they did make it out.
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
they attempted to retreat, and we have not heard from them since. I pulled my troops back for the reconnaissance.
There did look to be scant few survivors.
Yes, we've not seen any movements of any people, or even, to be fair, monsters from surveillance of the castle, but we dare not to go in any further to it. And then just this morning, thank the Trinity for it, but your cousin, Gracie, did make her way back to the town, and she collapsed soon after, and we are sort of treating her in the infirmary, in the hospital wing.
Where was she when the attack happened?
We believe she was in the castle along with the rest of your family, save your uncle and great-uncle. But she wandered in from the woods, and not from the direction of the castle.
Take me to her.
Of course. Takes you to the infirmary. So this is, Gracie is the, your cousin-in-law.
Right.
Barnaby is her husband. She is, and let me grab her token just so you guys can. Gracie. Young, 18, noblewoman. She is in a bed. She has been cleaned up a bit, but you can still see her face is like a bunch of scratches that have scabbed over and are healing. And she is just sleeping with some, nurses and attendants sort of dabbing at her forehead and looking after her.
Is she sick?
Oh,
Is she awakened?
the nurse sort of looks over and is like, she hasn't woken up yet. We can't. She had some minor wounds, but otherwise looked fine. She doesn't have a fever. We think it was just exhaustion or anxiety. She's been asleep for since this morning. She hasn't woken up yet, but we haven't tried to get her up forcibly. Would you like us to?
Yes. No.
Hmm.
We have some smelling salts.
Do you think that would be... she would be able to handle it?
She doesn't seem to be in life-threatening danger.
Then yes, we should try and wake her.
Very well. Nurse goes over, grabs some smelling salts, whilst in front of her nose. Gracie coughs. Like, smelling salts are terrible, guys. She coughs and hacks a bit, which is normal for this. She's, oh my, where am I?
It's alright,
Oh.
you're safe.
Abel, what are you doing here?
Well, we heard the castle was attacked. They found you in the woods. What's the...
Abel, and she sort of grabs onto you and like pulls you closer.
Mm-hmm.
It's Meredith. The castle was attacked. Meredith got myself and Eleanor out of there, but she whispers into your ear so that other people can't hear. She became a monster, Abel. I was just able to get away from her.
In the... what? Where did this happen?
In the woods.
Hmm.
Her and her pack of beasts. I don't know what she did. It's...
What about everybody else?
Theodore and Barnaby were holding off the attackers and helped us escape. I haven't seen them since. I don't know where your aunt was when the attack happened. I believe she was upstairs. The rest of us were downstairs, fortunately together. Some of the guards went after her, but they weren't able to meet up with us, and I've been spending the last week in the woods with that thing.
So it's still there, last you remember.
Yes, no, it's in the
Oh,
woods. I was
shit,
able to
we're
sneak away
going
from
hunting.
it.
What about Eleanor?
I think she was safe. I wasn't able to bring her with me since Meredith has kept her close, and I'm sorry, Abel. I feared for my own life. I couldn't get her. And she just starts crying.
So I obviously would know the layout of like how close to the castle would these woods be?
Oh, there's woods like
There's
all
woods
around.
all
Like,
around.
yeah, there's woods all around.
Hmm.
And she would tell you where in the woods. She's like,
Okay.
the North Glade, something like she gives you
She
instructions.
can give me
relatively.
directions. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, looks like we're going into the woods.
Into the woods. Into the woods.
Into the woods. All right.
'Cause
Are you going
she said
immediately?
that Eleanor was with her. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. And you spent a week in the woods.
I couldn't get away.
She was
They had us. Her beasts would bring us game and rabbits and birds and. She
Look.
looks shell shocked and she just stops trying to talk.
Listen, I'll be unfun about it.
What do you mean by unfun about it?
I'll be suspicious.
Oh, she's whispering this as close to so. Are you? She's trying to just say Vistable.
Got it. Okay.
So there's some stuff that leaks out because she's, but you still do an insight check because you can probably tell on Abel's face he's a bit incredulous about it.
Yeah, something's going
She is
on.
genuinely terrified of whatever she's talking about.
Okay.
Like I don't mean to use the word with a lot of gendered language to it, but hysteria is the common.
I mean-
Not to be unfun about it, but can we be hysterical next week?
We certainly can.
I'm sleepy.
You sleepy?
I'm all sleepy.
She's a little neeper.
Okay.
Listen, the missile is EP.
Yes, we can do this next week, and then the week
Okay.
after that, Tika and I will be out of town, so we will not be available on Friday.
All right. No worries.
You going out of town?
Yeah.
Yep.
To Kansas
know you were
City.
gonna.
Painting competition.
Ooh, nice.
You'll have to send us all the photos.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, we will call it here as you guys are preparing as night falls to go into the woods.
Spooky.
Cheated out of a duel.